Greetings, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Fast Break here on IE Sports Radio. I'm one half of the co-host, Davidson Crooks. My other co-host, Dentarius, will join us shortly. So I'm going to ride it solo for a little bit until he hops on. But I hope everybody's well out there. Hope everything's going good for everyone. I know the protests are still going. And this hour, hopefully we can be your safe haven here on Fast Break. But lots to get into tonight. I do want to start off today, discussing, the NBA season. Well, the revised NBA season coming up. And also discussing, some of the concerns these players, got as well. So lots to get into, lots of players' comments and stuff like that. So, we'll dive into that. But first, I want to dive into, the comments and everything that for the past couple of days, the players are having. If y'all don't know, some players have voiced their disapproval of trying to play the NBA season or trying to finish up the 2019-2020 season. And, has ruffled some feathers. Some people do agree what these guys are saying. Some guys are saying, excuse me, some guys are saying that, it's great that these guys are using their voice and stuff and to voice their opinion and whatnot. Some people are, kind of that shut up and dribble camp and get out there and play. So one of the voices that has come out about playing this upcoming to finish up this season or this abbreviated season is Kyrie Irving. And the players had a call this past Friday discussing said issues with the protests still going on in the country and whatnot. Some guys out here are, what can I say? It's we want to play, but there's a bigger issue right now going on. And some of these guys are feeling, if we get out here and play, then it'll take our eye off the ball trying to get, things accomplished, in this movement. Now, things like what they want to accomplish, could be it's a host of things. Police reform, laws, changing for black people, so something happens to a black person getting killed by a police officer, those new laws being in place that, so an officer be punished accordingly instead of walking off and getting, his hands clean and wipe away with it. Stuff like that. And in Mr. Irving's case, in that call, Kyrie asked, in that conference call, as an injured player, if he would count among the Nets, Nets a lot of roster. I'm trying to find a direct quote. Hang on one second. If you give me just a second. basically, trying to paraphrase. Well, here we go. You know, Kyrie's saying, once we start playing basketball again, the news returned from systemic racism to who did what in last night's, who did what in the game last night. It's a crucial time for us to be able to play and blend that and impact what's happening in our communities. So that's a mindset, what Kyrie is saying. And he's not alone. Avery Bradley has come out and spoke about it as well. Dwight Howard has joined that fray as well. So, for the NBA to not like consult everybody's feelings about playing. And I'll say this, I'm pretty sure these guys want to play and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong. But with these sports leagues, the NBA is going to be around. The NFL is going to be around. MLB is going to be around. NHL, MLS, y'all see where I'm going. They're going to be around. We don't see them going bankrupt anytime soon. And all that. They're going to be around. These issues that these players are looking to and trying to change and whatnot, if they can help get the ball rolling and get some things changed, which, change don't happen overnight, and stuff like this, it's going to be a lot of groundwork for at least decades. But these players, some of these players feel like, hey, if we can take the time and get these issues resolved, get whatnot done, then, hey, we can go back to playing basketball. But right now, with all this going on, with the killing still happening right now, with the incident, what happened in Atlanta and, the riots and stuff kicking back up in Atlanta, it's like a never ending issue. And some of these guys don't feel like playing with and trying to get lost and be stuck in Orlando while everything else is going around in this country. And also in that call, the limitation bubble I just mentioned, and it's like uncertainty with players too. There's some players that will choose to stay home, but but how many players will stay at home? With all the strict rules and stuff like that I'm pretty sure they have to adhere to. We know about these NBA players and hotels and stuff like that, and bringing who, what, and whatever into their rooms. What happens then with these guys? What happens if so and so brought this person into their room, sneaks this person in, sneak them out, and next thing you know, you might be hearing a positive test, and then things might be getting shut down. How are you gonna control these guys? Urges, for to speak. Guys that are accustomed to do what they want to, accustomed to do what they want to do when they're out on the road and whatnot. How you gonna curve that? I mean, are you gonna have like where these guys are staying? Are you gonna have security at each floor and security around the clock and at these hotels, which I'm pretty sure they will? But are you gonna have constant security everywhere just in case stuff like that don't happen? Are some of these players gonna go for that, having like that constant surveillance on them, and which other times they damn near had the freedom to do anything they want? A lot of things are happening. Do I think the season is going to happen and play? Yes, I do. But I think it'd be wise for the Players Association to gauge everybody's feelings and attention until, instead of relying on, LeBron say, or Giannis say, and whoever else. And compared to guys like Avery Bradley or who else I could think of? Lonnie Walker. Austin Rivers. You get the point. And, you won't have too many fans there. It's just it's like a lot of things that these guys, kind of like really sitting back now is like, do we really go through this? Do we really want to go through this right now? I mean, that's a big question. With this kind of like loss abbreviated season and going to next year, the league has the ability to terminate the collective bargaining agreement that includes a mutual opt-out in 22 and 23. And, with the loss of revenue that, that me and D-Log talked about before, from China and the Daryl Morey situation, and then, you're losing the revenue from mid-March up till now, in which by this date and time, you'd be rolling into the NBA Finals. That's a lot of money you're losing right there. Then on top of that, money you be getting from the NBA draft, from people attending, and revenue stream from that. It's a lot of factors going into this lockout. I mean, potential lockout, if that does happen. If the NBA does, opt out of that. If a quote unquote cancellation happens, the league would, just blow up that CBA and lock out the players and, move to a more unfavorable split, which is, compared to what is now, just a 50-50 split. These owners will probably come back around and say, hey, you guys didn't want to play. Y'all worry about this and that and the other. We understand your issues, but at the end of the day, business is business. And, we're going to come at y'all at 60-40 or 65-25. So a lot of factors, with league play coming, to fruition. I know Shams has tweeted out that the league could start a couple days earlier, but, regardless of that, I think you got a budding issue at the helm that the NBA and the Players Association really didn't take account of. It's like, what these other guys, what are these other guys thinking? Where are these guys feeling? Avery Bradley, said, he had a passionate message to players that, hey, spoke of playing chess, not checkers. was not look at the short term goal, was look at the long term. Yes, coming back and play this abbreviated season will be nice, but you know, what about the long term goal? How we go about, promoting these, getting these our voices heard, getting these social issues out and whatnot. How can we go about, doing all that? And I know people are tired of hearing, the politics mixed in with sports, but I mean, this is where we at right now. These issues happen. People, the average person, always look up to these celebrities, athletes, and whatnot to speak up and have their voice heard, or ask these athletes and so forth, like, why you ain't doing say nothing? Why you ain't contributing money and so forth? Why you doing this and that and that? You should be doing this and that and that. And these a lot of these guys, hey, stepping up to plate. And I know Kyrie can be, wayward in his style of approach of doing things. But I appreciate him coming out and saying this. It's great that he's, speaking up about this and feel about this. Now, will he hold on and say and keep saying things like this? I don't know. Dwight Howard. He talked about, he will sacrifice winning his first championship for this cause. And I know Dwight Howard's not, the high profile player he once was. Moving around different teams kind of diluted his values and source, but he was a former number one overall pick. His words hold value. I hope it holds value in what he says. If he's willing to not chase for his first NBA title and kind of really solidify himself as a future Hall of Famer, which I think he already is, but there just further submit that plays, then then what now? So, hopefully this, the NBA and the Players Association and the Board of Governors, they get this figured out, get a good, accurate game plan, for everybody involved. So, guys like, Kyrie, Avery Bradley, Dwight Howard won't feel like, they're missing out on the cause and stuff like that just because, they can be locked down in Florida. And, LeBron and others, like charging, putting a charge ahead saying, I was going to get hired playing. And speaking of the schedule, the NBA's expected restart dates from July 30th to August 14th will be the seeding games. So, I guess, quote unquote, finish up the regular season and you get your seedings and stuff like that for the playoffs to begin. And then on August 15th to 16th, you got your playing tournaments. So that means, if say, I guess I say this, especially in the Western Conference, if Memphis, Portland, and Sacramento in like a three-way tie, those playing tournaments will happen to get the eighth seed. Or heck, even San Antonio. That happens, you will see that playing tournament happening, and then the team go on to play, whoever be number one. If by chance the Wizards catch up to the Magic, same thing. Then it says here, August 30th, or August 17th, excuse me, the playoffs begin. So you get the playoffs beginning there at Disney World Sports. And, and I agree, with Terry in the chat, if the Spurs don't make the playoffs, it'd be like I won't say it'd be like it'd be a change if the Spurs don't make it. But with the Clippers, still keeping momentum. The Memphis Grizzlies coming in having the season they have with their young core. The Mavericks, Luka really taking off as a player in the league, and them finding their groove, and the injuries not killing them. A team like the Spurs get knocked down a few pegs. And then also, my surprise team of the year, the Oklahoma City Thunder, and their surprise play with Chris Paul to him, leading the charge, and, him having to, really trying to prove that point that he's not washed up yet. And, we've seen an OKC team that, if you look up down that roster, you're like, at best, 35 win team. If you like before the season, you think where you place this Oklahoma City team at, you put them, roster and all, at least 35 wins. But now you look at them sitting at the fifth seed right now at 40 wins. And that's where we, see the Spurs at. And of course, the Spurs, they got hit with the injury bug here past couple of years. Guys like Dejounte Murray, Lonnie Walker not being, healthy here. So that's kind of like stunted their growth a little bit. And then, DeRozan and Aldridge, they kind of, stuck in neutral. Rudy Gay's Rudy Gay. Some moments he'll give you good minutes here and there and give you good scoring, but he's been kind of injury riddled for the past couple of years. The Spurs, losing Tim Duncan, don't have that one true go-to player. And we kind of see the effects of it. But back to the schedule. So the playoffs begin on August 17th, then August 30th. Family and guests of the teams arrive. And I think what I read, it's mostly families. So, and depending on how big the families are, we'll make some exceptions. And They go that way. So, but I think it's good that the NBA is doing that and allowing, their families and whatnot come in and see them play. And then continue on from August 31st to September 13th, you got your conference semifinals. From the 15th to the 28th, you got your conference finals. And then from September 30th to October 13th, or whenever the earliest the conference finals wrap up, you jumping right into the NBA finals. And then that'll be your season. So, how do I see these teams? Look at how these dates are and how, things will shake up for these teams. I think for a team like the Lakers, for example, I think it's a good way for them to come out and show that you're not rusty. Because, before the break, they were clicking on all cylinders. You're 49-14. You had the second best record in the league. And, when the season halted, it could, it could be, a great way, for them to come back, get things rolling, and, assert that dominance, they starting to show in the West. Can LeBron with rest and stuff like that be rejuvenated? Anthony Davis kind of had like a nagging shoulder injury. Can he come back and be, time rest, with this extended time rested, shoulder ready to go, hit the ground running come July? For the Clippers, same thing for the Clippers. Kawhi Leonard, we talked about this last week. Kind of been dealing with a leg issue here for the past couple of years. Ever since he had that injury a few years back against that playoff series against the Warriors, his leg hasn't really been right. That hip, lower leg, he hasn't been right. And we've seen in the past couple of years that, he has taken time off, games from here and there. And, with this extended break here for about these 3 months now, has he found the time to rehab it, rest, and can he get back to that form he was before that injury happened? And don't get me wrong, he still played fabulously, and ain't no denying that by Kawhi Leonard. Before going to the break, he was averaging 27 points a game, 7.5 rebounds. So I'm not taking that away from him. But if y'all been watching him play, he's not 100%. And, can he come back, at least 90% and come back to that form that and him in his prime and see him evolve and play and challenge the Lakers for that top spot? That would be interesting to see. Same thing for Paul George. He is missing games this year due to injury. This break should be great for him. So, when these teams, and their mindset come in for this break, And when the season starts, we'll see who been grinding, who's been laid back chilling. You know, another team I could talk about right now, the Nuggets, the Joker, Jokic. He has lost a lot of weight. He looks fabulous. I'm really interested to see how he plays in his, redefined body. And you don't have to worry about the elevation and stuff like that playing in Colorado and coming and playing in Florida. With his new physique and new, I guess, focus, redefined focus, how that's going to play out for the Nuggets. And also like a Jamal Murray, who been kind of here and there and whatnot. Can he this during this break, combat, take a step back, redefine his focus, and come out with a sharper mentality and come out this in the season and do well. Michael Porter, a guy that's been dealing back issues at different spots here and there this past season, looked pretty good. This rest, can he, work on his body, work on his body, get his back and mind right, and maybe come in and contribute on this playoff run. Because let's be honest, Michael Porter Jr., if he was fully healthy when he played in Missouri, I know it's very short, but he played a full season. No, there's no doubt about it. He could at least challenge for that number 1 overall pick. And if he can come back and show that to that form, for this Nugget team, which I know is pretty deep, a lot of young guys, but if he could come in and, show glimpses of that, the Nuggets will be a very sneaky team to watch. So let me take a pause right there. Real quick. But I do want to promote here at IE Sports Radio that a lot of changes are happening here. And a lot of change for the good. Here at IE Sports Radio, we'll be doing regional city shows here. Well, I'll get to the East in a minute, but we'll be introducing to a lot of regional shows here at IE Sports Radio. We will have the our Chicago-based show. Chicago-based show, if you want to call that, hosted by AC Big Dog. You can catch his is at AC Flock at Ville. He's from Chicago, Illinois. He'll be hosting our new Chicago-based show. So if y'all get a chance after the show, give him a follow, give him a like, show him some love. And when he gets the show up and running, please give that brother a listen. Also, I want to promote the fact, Set Point, our volleyball show, was starring Terry Rodriguez, but he has a new co-host now. He's be co-hosting with Jack Stafford. And him and Jack will have a guest, the Irvine Lasers women's volleyball coach, Tom Pestalozzi, if I pronounced that correctly, head coach at Irvine Valley College. So they'll be talking to him on this upcoming Wednesday, 5 Pacific, 8 Eastern. So please check out those two gentlemen and with Coach Pesto Lessie. If I butcher that name, I apologize. And by the way, I used to live in Irvine, so very nice place. But also, you can catch our other shows at iesportsradio.com. Please do check out those other shows. And also check out the blogs and other beautiful things. Oh, I got the name right. Thank you, Tarian. Thank you. I was kind of like, dang, I hope I got his name right. But, please check out the website. Please check the blogs. You can catch up on the past shows for the other shows on the network. Now, let's see. Oh, okay. Well, I guess that not happened, but I've ready to bring D-Glock on, but I think he's not ready yet. So let me hop to the Eastern Conference side real quick. If you look at the Eastern Conference and how this abbreviated season is happening, you really only got one team, in the outside looking in, the playoff picture. And what we discussed is like, if you're Washington, did you really, really want to be a part of this? And kind of is like chuck up the season and it's like, we'll just come back next year. Because you think about it, okay, if a Washington made a run and, upsets Orlando and gets into like the 8th seed. So if they happen to do the play-in tournament and beat Orlando, you just, wolves to the, Milwaukee Bucks. No pun intended. But, if you're Washington, like, is this like coming back for this abbreviated season worth it? You're not at full strength. I doubt John Wall will be back to play. In this, abbreviated season. Bradley Beal, good as he is, he's not a guy that can really carry your team. And as good a scorer as he is, and the great scoring, feats he has had this season, they still lost some games. And, I know Bertans has played well this year when he was healthy. Hakuchimara played well at points in the season. Thomas Bryant, when he's healthy on the floor, is a very capable 5-man. Boris Wagner looked pretty solid at times. But other than that, look at them down that roster, who they can beat. Who are they going to topple? So that's what I'm saying. Like, when you fight these 22 teams, like, are you doing this for the best interests at heart? That's what we talked about, in previous weeks. You know, go ahead and just call the season and get the playoffs running. And let me kind of backtrack a little bit about the players' concerns and stuff like that. About safety and stuff and the social issues going on, all that. Well, everything I think we have failed to bring up. Well, I think I kind of like came to my head here recently. The COVID situation still hasn't gone away. It really hasn't gone away. And my thought process of them getting the playoffs done out the way and trying to get your off season done and wrapped up pretty quickly. Because my thought process is, if you get all your stuff done out the way and all that, get your draft done, get your free agency period done, and then kind of, and it's kind of hide out after that, the NFL will be kicking back into gear here next month. The NFL really ain't going to lose no money. We've seen reports that the NFL might be bringing fans in and stuff like that at half capacity. My thought process, thinking about just getting your playoffs started and get it done is you got to see how the other leagues are going to do first. Yes, like the NHL, it's kind of like the same boat in the NBA, but with the NFL, they're kind of the real true test of what's going to happen. With the fans in the stands, the players, the testing and stuff like that. Football being that close contact sport, how they going to, handle things. Granted, we've been seeing your UFC and WWE still going about business, and no real cases has really come up in those two organizations. But what happens in the NFL? What happens if a lot of cases start happening, or somebody who comes to the game is, Chiefs versus, Buccaneers? What happens if a few positive cases happens? Are they going to shut things down or maneuver some things around? That's why I kind of want the NBA kind of wrap up things, kind of sit back, see how the NFL handle things, and then you go about your day, go about your business, how you read and react, how you do things. That's my thought process, trying to get the season done. With the NBA. Get it done, get it out. Instead of doing this 22 team thing, on which, you having teams like Washington, Phoenix in the mix for no good reason. Other just like to have teams there. Who's Washington going to beat? And be honest, who's Orlando going to beat? They're almost walking win as well. Jonathan Isaac's going to be out. They're not equipped to beat Milwaukee. The guard play, sucks. Same thing for Brooklyn, Kyrie's out. Kevin Durant not coming back. Can Caris LeVert, Joe Harris, Jared Allen, can those guys carry, the water and make a run against a potential opponent, Toronto or Boston? Philly. We talked about this last week. D-Lock mentioned, Philly be a surprise team. And we don't talk about like Philly, Milwaukee. I said to him, like, one thing that could come down that matchup if they do meet is coaching. Brett Brown at times has kind of fumbled himself in regards to coaching his team. Another factor with Philly is Al Horford a good fit with this squad? That's another great question. I know we talked about this last week. Al Horford, he always considers himself a 4-man. He works better than a 5-man in the NBA. So, a guy that should know his place and be comfortable where he's at, still want to, be at his other position. And then he gets a chance to play that position there here in Philly. And it's been really mixed. It's been really mixed for him. So, what does a Philly do? How is Joel Embiid going to be coming back, with his extended time off? Is he going to take a page like Jokic did out in Denver and would he and like lose some weight, get some pressure off those knees, and come out with a renewed focus? That's one thing I kind of interested to see about this Philly team in this run. Are some of these guys going to have a renewed focus? I see more about Ben Simmons' extracurricular activities than seeing improvements in his game or videos about improving his game, working his jump shot and whatnot. We brought it last week about Alex Burks and Glenn Robinson being in the fold for this team. Would that help, this team at different times and crunches in this playoff run? We'll see. Then you get Indiana. I think this break, when the season gets started, will help Victor Oladipo. A guy that came back this year, kind of rusty, trying to find himself in the, find himself again after going down with that injury. How he's going to come out in this and, come out to that all-star form for Indiana. Sabonis been playing very well this year. Very, very, very well. Averaging 18 and 12.4 and 12.4 rebounds. All-star this year. Can you come back and play very well? TJ Warren, a guy I like playing on FanDuel. Gives you very consistent points on there. He was averaging 19 points. Can they get back to that good balance, that Nate McMillan likes in his teams? But besides Oladipo, Malcolm Brogdon, he's got to be key as well. He's got to be key as well. He is missing games this year. And when he has played, has kept his team at a competitive level. But he's got to, show that he's worth his contract, in my eyes. Now, some of y'all might say like he is, but, it seems like he's on and off the on and off the injury report and again and again. And, hopefully he uses extended break to heal up whatever injuries he's had and come out the ground running. And then especially Miles and another person from Indiana, Miles Turner. He's really kind of, I don't say fall off the cliff this year, but he just is like, I don't know, he just kind of fell off a little bit. And Armando Sabonis has kind of took his shine away from him. That it's that shine and production that he should be having, that he should be having with this team, but he doesn't. Yeah, I wonder, with the way Sabonis has been playing, has that affected his psyche to go about his business? So can he come out and maybe close this with a Sabonis and, have a 45 front court and maybe have a surprise run this playoff run? And going to Miami real quick. The team I really watch playing. Pat Riley and crew has found some real gems, for their team. Getting a Bam Adebayo was a mid first round pick a couple years ago. He has turned out to be a real gem for them. Same thing with Tyler Hero. He's going to turn out to be a real solid player for that team. Kendrick Nunn, I can't brag enough about that dude. He has come in and played very well for this team. Very well for this team. So I really can't stop bragging about that dude. And his grind and his determination has done wonders for this Heat team. And kind of like a nice surprise for them as well. Averaging 15.6 points a game, 3.5 assists. You can start him or bitch him. I think you probably want him more after your first 6 man off the bench. But, wherever role you put him in, he has come in and done very well for this Heat team. Duncan Robinson, another guy that has come in and played well for this team. I can't say enough much him. His presence, his 3-point scoring to go along with Tyler Hero. Then, of course, Goran Dragic been coming off the bench here, here lately in his advanced age. He has played pretty well in that role. So I think we should still continue to see that for him in this playoff run. And, with these older guys having this nice extended rest, probably do wonders for him down this playoff run. But my thing with the Heat, though, maybe besides Bam Adebayo, can these other big men kind of show up and play and be key contributors at different moments in his run? Can Andre Iguodala find his groove back? I know he missed most of this part of the season, and then he got back and rolling playing ball, but but can he, find that mojo he has had, that he has had the past couple seasons and get things, rolling? Miles Leonard, Kelly Olynyk, can those guys contribute well enough different points in the season during this, little run, can these guys have good games and stuff to help their star players and be good contributors? Because if they don't, then if you ain't getting that scoring from your bigs down low, then you put a lot of pressure on your guards to do everything. Put more pressure on Duncan Robinson. Put more pressure on Kendrick Nunn. I think Jimmy Butler would be up for the challenge, but to say if he's that dude or not is a very hard thing to say. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like a Jimmy Butler, but is he the guy that take you to the promised land? So, that's my question for Miami. Boston. Boston, Boston, Boston. A team, I don't know, a team that you can say they have a superstar in Jason Tatum. Well, I don't say superstar, but a budding star in Jason Tatum, but he's not there yet. Don't get me wrong. He's averaging 35 minutes a game, 23.6 points. But sometimes, at times, it's just like it's not consistent enough yet. That we're not there yet. In this past offseason, getting Kemba Walker kind of really offset the loss of losing Kyrie. So you got, that scoring guard, that scoring guard that you had in Kyrie, you replaced with Kemba Walker, so you really ain't losing too much there. But your main growth coming to the season was more growth from your young studs on the wing and in Tatum and Brown. And with Tatum really kind of taking that leap that you hope. And at times it's like, damn, you see it. And then other times like, damn, dog, it's like, you got to work a couple things here and there. But I think a couple questions for me for the Celtics coming to the season. They're other role players. Jaylen Brown. I know he's worried about his money. I know that he should be seeing more production, have more touches. Can he, put that aside for the greater good for right now? With the team kind of leaning towards Jason Tatum being that dude, can he accept that role and be, I don't know, maybe that number two for that team, for this team? Can he do that? That's a big question I got for the Celtics. Can Jaylen Brown fall back and not be, and try and be that dude? And don't get me wrong, Jaylen Brown can score. He was averaging 20 points a game this year. But we know what we have in Tatum. And his team should try to capitalize on that and put Tatum in that forefront, being that dude. I don't think, when Jaylen Brown was coming out of Cal, he was that dude. Now, I'll say he showed tremendous growth and stuff like that in the league. But, you know, I don't think he's that dude. Marcus Smart, at times, when he's on, he's on. When he's off, he's off. And, you know, but he's a guy that, will just kind of keep on shooting just to be on shooting. And I wish, you would ever have a stronger minded coach, kind of like a Greg Popovich, to tell him that type of stuff. Like, hey, dude, if your shot ain't falling, do other things and then try, come back to that. I'm not saying Brad Stevens ain't that person, but I don't think he's that bone to, tell him that. Maybe he has before, but, but I doubt it. And then you look at the other role players like Canner, Daniel Thesis. That's going to be like kind of key for the Celtics. That low post play. Can you get enough out of those guys? A solid production for them to be, very solid in the, in these playoffs. Same thing with Gordon Hayward. Can you get solid production for him as well? So that's my thing for the Celtics. And to wrap up quickly, the Raptors, Bucks, I think they're the head of the pack in the East. With Toronto losing Kawhi Leonard in last offseason, I think Siakam has filled that void very well and pretty good for that team. And, guys like, Norman Powell, Fred Van Fleet, and others kind of up their game a little bit. And, Nick Nurse has done a very, very good job of keeping the wheels going, even though they lost Kawhi Leonard. And I always said, like, if, I said this on Twitter before, Siakam's a rising star. And, where they drafted him, a few years ago, they got very lucky. And you potentially got your new franchise, face of the franchise in Siakam. And I think in his run, he may get to show he's going to be that dude for years to come. Nice. He's like 6'9", 6'10", can play multiple positions, guard multiple positions, can run up and down the floor. Him and Giannis's games are kind of similar. Like they kind of drive on you to make him stop. I think, Giannis is the better player, but you see those similarities in their games. I think, Siakam is the better shooter out of the two. But I think Giannis that step above Siakam. I think he is. But my question for Toronto, for your younger players, your older players like Marcus Gasol, Kyle Lowry, and Serge Ibaka. Can those guys have very solid production, in this playoff run? Can Kyle Lowry have a consistent run and not disappear in games? Can you get enough production out of Marcus Gasol, scoring and defense-wise in his run? Ibaka been pretty solid. Can you keep this play up? He seems like ever since he got traded up to Toronto, he seems like he's more he's like rejuvenated, kind of found his groove again. And the bench and Normal Power, Van Fleet, can they keep that production up for this squad? And then for Milwaukee, Giannis, for Giannis, sky's the limit for him. Can he take this team to the next level? Can he get this team to the NBA Finals? Can Coach Budenholzer get this team to the finals? Because they got all the right pieces that surround this team. They got the toughness. They got the scoring. They got the shooters. You got the athleticism. Not just Giannis, but a Sterling Brown, a Pat Covington, a Dante DiVincenzo. And then your veterans like Kyle Korver, George Hill, Arion Ilyasova, Wesley Matthews. I mean, that Milwaukee team is very deep. Some of the names I just called have been key role players at other places. But Milwaukee got all these guys here. George Hill, like I said, George Hill, Kyle Korver, Ilyasova, Brook Lopez, Robin Lopez, Wesley Matthews, Marvin Williams. Don't forget, at times, Marvin Williams has played pretty well in this league. Now, granted, he's never lived up to the number 2 billing, but has had solid production in the league for years. So, for Milwaukee, can you, shake off that conference finals loss to the Toronto Raptors and not have to worry about Kawhi Leonard in your way and get over that hump in the East? So, a lot of questions for these teams. I'm kind of intrigued, like I'm talking about Jokic and his body transformation. How are these guys going to come out of this quarantine in the states they're in? And then also the mentality, the mental aspect of going to Orlando. All these guys prepared, like I mentioned in the beginning of the show, all these guys comfortable being locked down in one place, in one city for these following months, and not have like too much of the freedom they used to having. Like I mentioned before, these guys had a lot of freedom to do what they want and who they want to bring in the rooms and stuff like that. With this disease, this disease still not going away. I live in the state of Alabama. The cases keep going up. On a side note, I get married this upcoming Saturday, the 20th. And I had to take a lot of precautions and stuff like that for everybody's safety. We originally started out about 200 plus people. Now we're down to 70. And that's just to worry about everybody's health and stuff like that. It sucks that, people want to come and whatnot, but, it is what it is. We got to look out for everybody's precaution. Are these guys going to look out for their safety and stuff like that? And that's some of these concerns that these guys have. Their own well-being and health. Some of their fellow NBA players have had COVID-19 or have the COVID the coronavirus. Donovan Mitchell, Ruby Gobert, Christian Wood, Detroit Pistons. A couple players from the Lakers had it. A couple players from the Nets had it. I think Kevin Durant was one. And I'm trying to pull up the Disney guidelines they had. I'm trying to pull that up. I had it up earlier. Let's see. So the protocols of the Disney staff down in Orlando, they haven't. I wrap this up. They always got to wear face masks and gloves. Strict physical distancing. Never within 6 feet of an NBA participant. So these Disney workers can't be around NBA players like that. Or God knows, if they do, then they might lose their job. And which we're in a time that, we have at least 43 million people in the U.S. out of work. So those people don't probably lose their job over something silly. Temperature checks, symptom checks. So probably before they get into the facility, they scan it, doing the temperature, asking, questions. I'm pretty sure some of y'all out there have gone through that as well at y'all's job. So that's going to be the norm for them for the next few months. And then housekeeping. It says the housekeeping staff will never be in the same room. The same room at the same time as the NBA participants. So if so-and-so want their room clean, then that so-and-so probably have to leave their room and let the cleaning staff do their thing. And they probably had to give the okay to come back to the room. That's what these guys are going to be dealing with next few months. That's what I'm talking about, the mental right there. Some of these guys handling that. Some of these guys be able to be away from their wives, girlfriends, whatever, for an extended period of time. Will these guys miss after a game? This is like routine, like going after the game and then going to the club. Are these guys going to handle that? Like, hey, you can't go out. Yeah, I know downtown Orlando's popping, but you can't go. Or you can't go drive down to Miami. No, you can't. And that's why you see the divide and talking and stuff like that going on right now. But, ladies and gentlemen, this has been our show tonight. Thank you for tuning in. Like I mentioned halfway through the show, please check out the website, iesportsradio.com. You can catch this show and other shows or past shows and give that show a listen. Tomorrow, like I said, set point down this upcoming Wednesday. Please check that out. The Irvine Valley coach Pastorelli. Please check that out with Tarian and his new co-host. Pulling up. I forgot his name already. Jack Stafford. So please check that out. Check out the other shows out the week. Let's Whine About Sports from Mike Pat. And, Mike has done a beautiful job with IE Sports Radio, so please give him a listen. Unfiltered Truth, Phil Jones, Phil Robinson, If you love the Raiders, please check them out and give them a listen. I know with the training camp coming up, you get a lot of things. You kind of get up and running right now with football. You about to get running, and when with Vegas opening up and stuff like that, I'm pretty sure they'll dive into that and the aspects of all that happening, going on there as well. So give those shows a listen tomorrow. We'll be back with you next week. But till then, ladies and gentlemen, you can also follow me on Twitter at Spawn4288. Follow me on the Crooks Process on Instagram and Facebook. You can follow D-Lock on Twitter at Black Dash. And until then, ladies and gentlemen, y'all take care of yourselves. We'll talk to y'all next week. Peace.